So I really wanted to show virtual dyno and how this can work and help you out. I used this a while ago back with another car that I had, and I really loved it on Megasquirt. I didn't think I could use it on Speeduino, but I want to give a shout out to DC Works and his ability to show me how this was easily done. So I want to walk you through setting this up, running through it, and kind of showing you how it works. And I'll also show you where our baseline is for the Datsun. Kind of what I expected, but there's a little part that it isn't, so we get to do a little bit of troubleshooting as well with the data log here near the end of this one. Alright, so first up, I'm going to go ahead and go to Profile. I'm going to go ahead and add a profile. One of the things you'll notice is I don't have my car in there. What I am going to do though is I am going to select something that's just similar in my mind. So a 1990 to 96 twin turbo 300ZX. That doesn't sound too similar. How about a 240SX? Yeah, that's closer. I mean, it's a 4-cylinder versus a 6-cylinder, but it's about the same base weight plus, yeah, a little bit around there. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'll double click there. So here's what it pulls open. So I can do a 3rd gear pull or a 4th gear pull, so I just have to keep that in mind. But what it's really doing is it's adjusting the final drive ratio. And so that's really what I want to talk about now. I can go ahead and select 3rd gear. I can go ahead and put in the tire size. You can go ahead and enter that here. I already know it is. I think it's 27.83 or something like that. I have it written down here. 27.83. Man, love it when I'm right. So I'll go ahead and put in the tire size. Now the weight. The weight of my car, I had this weight a while ago. It came in quite piggy. I'm going to blame myself on there, but it came in at 3221. Now that's spare tire, full tank of gas, all fluids, me, and tools. Now final drive, this one's a little more interesting. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to go ahead and open up Google Chrome, and I'll show you how I get this. Transmission and rear end gear ratios. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find my transmission from the year that I'm using from a salvage car. And then I'm also going to multiply that by the rear end ratio. I already know the rear end ratio is 3.545. So it is R200 3.545. That one right there. Okay, that's what came in the 2+2s. That's what it is. So I'm going to take that number and I'm going to multiply it by my gear ratio. Now my transmission, let's come on down here, it's from 1980 and 1.858. I did a 2nd gear pull on the one that I'm doing, so I'm going to use that as my baseline. And 1.858, I'm going to multiply that by 3.545. So I'll go ahead and minimize this. Here's my final drive ratio. Alright, so there we go. And I'll go ahead and just select the oldest year on there. I'm just doing that, and I'll save this profile. Now you'll notice that this new profile 73, I'll rename it and I'll just put the okay, and I'll save that. So now here is where we are at, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly where my car is from a base run from a few days ago. I'm going to go here and go to File. I'm going to open up my logs. Now you'll notice what happens here is if I just go and load a run, I'll go to the folder. Here I am under my data logs folder. CSV files doesn't pull up anything, but if I select Megasquirt logs, I'm able to see everything. And I can go through and select them. Now, if I haven't gone through, this is what the error is that you're going to see most often. I'm just going to select one. I'll select this 25 one as an example. You'll notice, hey, not all columns needed for calculation found, time, RPM, throttle, and let's troubleshoot those. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. I'll go back over to my folder. Here is my file, and this is what it's going to look like when you first get it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this with Notepad++. If you don't have it, it's free. Here it is right there, and I even have my 25 copy open. What I did is I would go ahead and make a copy of these. So I'd copy my 25, mark it as copy. I would open this up, and I'd go ahead and find an area where I went ahead and did a full pull in 2nd gear. And I can't remember exactly where I did that off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's over here, somewhere around this area maybe. So here's one, I can see the timestamp on it. I can see the starting timestamp, so I just used that, and I went to the ending timestamp and essentially used that. Then when I had it open in Notepad++, I would just simply go through and I would remove all the extra line items above that. So I just come in here, highlight a little bit, scroll down to exactly where I needed to, shift, and kind of take those from there. And then I'd delete them, just like that. And then I'd save it. Now you'll notice up here at the top, I'll show you my copy. This one I've already done. I went in here and I put in everything. The one change I had to do though is I had to change the word from Speeduino to MS3. And once I did that, and I learned this from DC Works, and so huge shout out there because that saved me some time to figure out what was going on so I could use it. But once we did that, it worked out just fine. And so let me show you that. In this case, I'll come in here and I'll go back to my Tuner Studio, or sorry, my virtual dyno. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And I will go ahead and load my run. I'm going to go ahead and pick on Megasquirt files. I'll go down and find one. I'm going to find one. I'm going to start with this one from the 19th. Okay. I'll select my Z profile. And here we go. Now you'll notice here, that's where it starts off at. Okay, I've got my weight, I've got my gear ratios, I've got my final drive, everything's pulling in. But man, that's not very impressive. 130? Well, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, I'll open back up my Google. You'll see down here at the bottom, I get to about 87. I think my highest I ever get to is 88, 89. So let's show you how that means. So if I come in here and I'll do 88 kPa to, I'll do inches mercury, 25.99 inches of mercury. 25.99 inches. Now, as soon as I do that, you'll notice that the horsepower jumps up. It's right over there. One little problem though, I wasn't in 77 degrees of temperature. I was in closer to about 40 degrees temperature when I did that. So as soon as I tick that off, you'll see here how it jumps. It's giving me about 143. You know, that seems about right. For an old Z, I think that's about right. Now, the one thing that's concerning me, look at how that just kind of drops off. My torque does pretty good, but man, once it's getting up there, once it hits about that 58 RPM, or 5800 RPM, look how it takes off. That doesn't seem right to me. Something seems goofy. I'll come down here on my AFR. Oh man, that's pretty pig rich. So here is another run. I'll go ahead and load this one up and I'll show you how it is. All I did is I went in there and I kind of leaned out certain things. So in this case, I'll go back to my Megasquirt logs. I'll go find the newer ones. So here is the 22nd. I'll do my SE corrections. I'll do the same thing. So 25.99 with about 40 degrees of temperature. I didn't go as high in the RPM this one because I felt it still dropping and I knew something was wrong. But you'll notice right there, I leaned it out. So this is about how much change it took place just by me leaning out. So you can see right around here is where that it started to pull away from it. It was pretty close there, but it started to pull away and it really made a big difference right around there. Now something's still going on. And this is where I'm going to use my my logs. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my 19th one because that's where I took it up the highest RPM. I'm going to go back in there. I'll find the one from the 19th. So here's the one I just opened up. So I'm going to select that exact one. It's just trimmed, so it's only 28 kilobytes, but you can see that there. As I was troubleshooting though, something jumped out at me. So I went through and just started clicking through all of the different options, and I tried to find something that correlated, but there was something that definitely jumped out to me as soon as I got to battery voltage. And hopefully those keen of eye will see here. I'll zoom in just a bit so you can see what's going on. As I started going up in RPM, my battery voltage started to jump down. Now it picks up really quick right there, and then starts tanking all the way down to below 12 volts. Now that's pretty concerning. That's a problem. So something's going on there. I think it's the belt. Why don't we go find and check it out?
Well, there's the issue. I can turn that a lot farther than I should be able to. Okay, that's a little bit loose. I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that rattly thing too. So yeah, you can see how much I can move that. I can twist it pretty farther than I should be able to.
Alright, so the belt is obviously a problem, but still, this is about where we end up. I'm just shy of 150 horsepower in my car. I'm going to get that belt tensioned up. I'm going to get everything taken care of there. I'm going to start playing around with my timing a bit. My timing is still on the stock kind of ignition timing curve of the distributor. So I really haven't touched that, played with it. Essentially how a stock one performs. And just to verify this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Google. And I'm just going to type in 280Z Dyno, stock 280Z Dyno. Perfect, let's use that. Okay, so I'll go to images. Let's see what we find out. I'm going to pick on this first one. Okay, so here is dyno readings, stock torque. Yeah, they're right there. I mean, they are just, it looks like they're kind of in the 130, kind of that range. That's what I expect. The only thing that really stands out that's been done to this car is the head's been cleaned up. You know, the ports have been, it's been ported a little bit. And it's got a C-cam. And then this C-cam does have a little bit of a grind, so that's why it's able to kind of take those higher RPMs as it should. But yeah, I definitely want to go through, see what I can do to get that top end not to flatten out. Because I know when I drove it a little bit ago, it didn't have that problem. So that belt slippage is new. And I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of show you how you can go through and troubleshoot things like that and find out what's going on with your car. A lot of times it goes back to mechanical issues. It's not always something to do with the software. A lot of times it's something mechanical. So as long as you got your car sorted out mechanically, it makes it a lot easier to go through and do the update to the ECU and everything like that. Now, one of the things is this is going to change very soon. I've been working on that turbo kit, as you guys know. It's getting closer and closer. I'm just waiting for really a good weather week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking the motorcycle to work when there's no chance of snow, because we've been getting snow way too much lately. And once it warms up a little bit, I have trouble riding below freezing temperatures. It's a little hard on the bike. But yeah, as soon as that happens, the D is going to go down. It's going to get the turbo kit. It's got some mock-ups. I'll have to tease you with a little photo here. I started mocking on the intercooler and everything else. We'll start showing you how I've gone through and taken care of all that and getting it ready. I'm prepped about as much as I can. Now it's just time to pull the trigger. Anyway, thanks for hanging in there. Hopefully you learned something cool, and don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know if you have any questions. See you. Stay tuned.